Mile High Air. There you go. Reminds me of a song. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. That's right. That's where we are tonight as My 9 presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Colorado Rockies in the first of three from Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. He obviously does not like my singing, but everybody likes the way the Yankees have been playing of late. They have been red hot, and nobody's been hotter than Alex Rodriguez.
I thought I was working with John Denver tonight for a moment. Alex, you're right. He's been swinging the bat very well. Alex Rodriguez this month, it only seems like every ball he has hit has been a home run, but that's not really true. But he's on fire, hitting the long ball all over Yankee Stadium on his last homestand. Hit close to 400 on the homestand, drove in a lot of runs, and increased his major league leading home run total almost seemed like on a daily basis. A-Rod's been hot, so the Yankees been hot, and they're playing well coming here to Colorado at Coors Field, where the ball has been known to fly.
Well, if they could fly any farther than they've been flying for Alex Rodriguez, could be dangerous. Look at his numbers. He's first in the major leagues in the month of June in home runs, RBIs, slugging percentage, and tied for first with 20 runs scored. Pretty amazing. Let's take a look now at tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. It's Mike Messina against Josh Fogg. And with Mike Messina on the mound for the Yankees, Will Nieves is going to catch, but the Yankees want to keep Posada's bat in the lineup, so he'll play first.
Yeah, Jorge's been swinging a hot bat all season long. There's Don Mattingly working with Jorge before the game this afternoon here at Coors Field. I asked Jorge if he felt comfortable. He said, well, he didn't get enough time to work out. He's not going to be Don Mattingly tonight. Let's put it that way. But he's going to do the best that he can. And when you're hitting 350, they got to get you in the lineup some way, somehow. So Jorge's at first base.
It just seems that Nieves makes Messina more comfortable, but Posada's bat makes Messina pretty comfortable as well. Messina will try to shut down the Rockies. They've been hot as well. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on My 9. We are almost ready for baseball here at Coors Field. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%. Call or visit geico.com. Remember, no DH in the National League ballparks. Top three, Cabrera, Jeter, and Abreu. Then you've got A-Rod, red hot in his last 7 games. Posada at first, Matsui in left, bottom third. Cano, Nieves, and Mike Messina will bat ninth, and he will pitch. Josh Fogg is about to start the game, and the first pitch is a strike.
30-year-old Josh Fogg, right-hander on the mound for the Rockies tonight. This will be his 13th game of the year. You can see his record of 2-5. And an ERA just under 5, 4.95. Let's take a look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Have it for you right after this next pitch to Melky Cabrera.
Line drive, caught by Kaz Matsui, one away.
And here's that scouting report brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. He's a Gator with the University of Florida. He was a closer at Florida. His last start was against the Red Sox. He had to labor in that start. 98 pitches in 5 innings, but he got the win. The Rockies beat the Red Sox 12-2, and that's been his only win in his last 7 starts.
In fact, his 2 wins this year, one have come against the Red Sox and one has come against the Mets, both of them on the road, both big wins for the Rockies. Here's Derek Jeter. He carries a 12-game hitting streak into this game. And he swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Atkins. Across the diamond to Elkton, and there's 2 away. Let's take a look at the entire Rockies defense. In the outfield, from left field to right field, you've got Matt Holliday out left, Willie Taveras, formerly of the Astros, in center, and Brad Hoff over and right. In the infield, Garrett Atkins, Troy Tulowitzki, Kaz Matsui, Todd Helton, and behind the plate, Torey Alba with Fogg on the mound. And this is a good defensive team. They average about 21 to 22,000 people per game here at Coors Field, and this place is going to be jammed today. All 3 games, in fact, are either sold out or very close to being sold out. Here's Bobby Abreu, and there's a strike. Abreu hit .353, and the Yankees just completed homestand. The Yankees have won 11 of their last 12. They have been on fire. The 0-1. Outside 1-1.
Yeah, Abreu, like many other Yankees, coming off a good homestand where they've been swinging the bats, and A-Rod on deck. Well, you could say he's been the hottest of them all, but Abreu's right up there.
Popped up, left field. Holliday is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Josh Fowl. Well, Jorge Posada is going to go out and play first base. Yankees go down in order. It's the Yankees nothing and the Rockies coming to bat. Well, the odds are against Jorge Posada. He's playing an unfamiliar position, and he's dealing with a very bright sun that's going over the third base grandstand, and it's peering right into his eyes. Now, he is wearing sunglasses, but it could be a problem. Let's take a look at the Rockies starting lineup, which is presented by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Willie Taveras, he gets on, he can steal. He'll be in center field. Batting second and playing second, Met fans remember him, not fondly, Kaz Matsui. Matt Holliday's in left field. He'll hit third. Last 5 games, a .571 average. Todd Helton's at first, Garrett Atkins at third, Brad Hawpe is at right. That's 4, 5, and 6. Bottom of the order, the shortstop Troy Tulowitzki, Yorvik Torrealba will catch, and Josh Fowl will pitch, and he'll bat ninth.
The Moose is loose in Colorado. Mike Mussina making his 11th start of the year, 3-3 record. Working on that ERA, trying to bring it down more than a hit per inning. 8 home runs, 11 walks, and 30 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scouting report. Tonight is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. 11 strikeouts in his last 13 2/3 innings. And his last start was his longest outing of the season at 7 2/3 innings. And he wants to keep the line moving. The starter's been throwing the ball pretty well. Chin-Min Wong struck out 10 in his last start on Sunday. And Roger Clemens pitched well enough to win most games, but ran into Oliver Perez of the Mets. Andy Pettit's been wonderful. So the Yankees are trying to keep the line moving as far as the starting pitching is concerned.
Yankees in at the corners for the speedster Willie Taveras. And the first pitch is low. The Rockies trying to recreate this team. They used to have a lot of home run hitters, but the ball does not fly as it used to because they keep it in a humidor between games. And so the ballpark plays a little smaller, and they want to be able to steal bases and create runs. That's why they traded for Taveras.
Yeah, we just had a shot at manager Clint Hurdle. The Rockies, when they first came into being, were known as the Blake Street Bombers when they had the likes of Larry Walker, Andres Galarraga, Vinny Castillo, and Dante Bichette. I mean, those guys can hit home runs. And this ballpark gave up more home runs in one season than any other ballpark in history. But things have changed now. I think it was over 300 home runs back in 1999 or 98. Of course, we're a mile high above sea level, so the air is thinner and the ball carries. But since they put the balls in the humidor, they store them in there. Add some weight to the ball, it doesn't fly.
Now, the one thing that counteracts the balls being in the humidor is if it's very hot. First pitch temperature today, 87 degrees. It was hot over the weekend, and the ball was jumping out like the old days. So we'll keep a close eye on it, but it does not play as ridiculously as it used to. Yankees were here 5 years ago. And our colleague who's now retired, Jim Cott, and here's a shot of the humidor where they keep the baseballs. He's the one who coined the phrase, it's like marbles in a bathtub. And in those 3 games, the Yankees won 10-5 and 20-10, and they lost 14-11.
70 runs by both teams in 3 games.
Grounded to Jeter, diving stop. Fires, got a nice play by Derek.
2 parts to the play, and both were difficult. First of all, coming up with a ball that looked like it was going through the middle. He played up close, a little tighter than usual because of Taveras' speed. If he hits a slow roller, he's going to beat it out. Not only did he have to dive for the ball, but he had to get rid of it quickly because Taveras might be the fastest right-handed hitter down the line in Major League Baseball. So not even fully to his feet, Derek gets an accurate throw over the first base and picks up the out. Watch Taveras going down the line. He could smell a base hit, but he got beaten by about a half a step. That's an excellent play by Derek Jeter to start this series.
Here's Kaz Matsui. Swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left field. And Hideki Matsui puts it away for the second out of the first. Let's take a look at the Yankees defensively in this spacious ballpark. In the outfield, you've got Matsui, Melky Cabrera, and Bobby Abreu. That's left to right. In the infield, third to first, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Jorge Posada making his 18th career start at first base. Nieves behind the plate, and Messina is on the mound.
Mike, you made a point of the spacious outfield, and you know, a lot of the veterans who come here will say it's not so much that the ball flies, you get a lot of home runs. It's those little dunkers that fall in because the outfielders have to play so deep. And that's what gets the ERAs up, because when the home runs go out of the ballpark, there's usually a man or two on base.
Here's Matt Holliday, probably one of the best players you don't know about. 363. That batting average leads the National League. He can hit. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Toyota Camry.
When you look at the infielders and look at where the outfielders are played, there's a lot of room between the two.
And he goes 3-0 on Holliday, and the dangerous Todd Helton is on deck.
Because when the ball is hit well, it's going to carry, and you're going to have some extra base hits, if not home runs. But those little dunkers, so much room between, say, Matsui and Jeter, there's a lot of room for balls to fall in.
And Holliday walks on 4 pitches from Messina.
Yeah, Holliday is probably, you're right. Not many people, especially in the American League, don't know much about Holliday, but he's been one of the better hitters in the National League for the last couple of years, really coming into his own. He's hitting over 400 in this ballpark this year. So he really likes the home cooking.
He'll lead off first, held there by Posada. Here's Helton. And there's a strike. Now the Rockies are not a pushover. In fact, since May 22nd, their record is 17-7, and that's the best record over that time in the major leagues. This is a good team. They've won 4 of 5, 6 of 8, 8 of 11. And they actually believe that they have a shot in the National League West. Runner goes. Pitch is swung and fouled away. And the count 0-2 on Helton. Let's give you a look at the umpires in tonight's game. Lance Barksdale is behind the plate. Tim Welke at first. Jim Reynolds at second. And Todd Ticanor is over at third. Rockies have struggled. They have not had a winning season since 2000. And they were 82-80 that season. They started off great. They actually made the playoffs in '95. But it's been downhill.
You know, Helton's been a fixture with the Rockies for a number of years, going back to his start with this organization as a #1 draft pick out of the University of Tennessee. And he has 998 hits in this ballpark. And there are not many players in baseball who have 1,000 hits in their own ballpark.
Ground ball, and it's 999. Holliday will stop at second. Incidentally, this is the 1,000th game played here at Coors Field. So Helton with 999 hits.
One thing I noticed when this ball was going through the infield, the grass is very thick in the infield. And this ball kind of slowed down, but still made it through. And the reason why the grass is high, it gives the pitchers a break. I mean, the ball flies so well, is that if you get a ground ball, you're really gonna have to scorch it to get it through the grass and get it to the outfield.
Here's Garrett Atkins.
There's another good hitter that you probably don't know much of, at least around American League circles. He drives in runs. 10 runs batted in his last 5 games. And over the last 2 seasons, 05 and 06, coming into this year, only 2 third basemen in the major leagues have driven in more runs than Garrett Atkins, and it's A-Rod and David Wright, both New York players.
The 0-1, fouled away. And the count is 0-2. So Messina 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. Messina sets. And he deals the 0-2 to Atkins. Driven out to center field and deep. Giving chase, Melky Cabrera. He's there. And in the deepest part of the ballpark, he hauls it in for the final out of the first inning. So the Rockies threaten to no avail. No runs to hit, 2 men left. After 1, there's no score on my 9. New York Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by the new release 1408 in theaters Friday, June 22nd. Verizon Fios. Make the switch to Verizon Fios, and by Lexus. The first pitch to Alex Rodriguez is a strike. It'll be A-Rod, Posada, and Matsui against Josh Fogg.
393s hitting in the month of June. And we showed you the graphic, 8 home runs this month. The Yankees do not have many. They only have some players who have played here. A-Rod's one of them. 8 for 20 in his career in this ballpark with a home run.
Now, A-Rod was actually wined and dined in the winter of 2000 by the owners of the Rockies as well as John Elway. This one he was a free agent, and they offered him what they thought was a big contract of $15 million a year. He ended up signing with the Texas Rangers for $26 million a year, but the Rockies were in serious consideration. And you almost wonder, Kenny, in this ballpark what his numbers would be before they humidified the baseballs.
You know what? They might not have done that if he were here.
Might be right. The 2-2. There's a base hit up the middle for A-Rod, so his hot hitting continues.
Yeah, Fogg's got a fastball, curve, slider, and a change. His fastball is not really overpowering. It's a sinker. Now that looked like a breaking ball out over the plate. A-Rod hit it right back where it came from. Target's blown away, and it's not a bad pitch. But look at the reach of A-Rod. Really went out there and got it. Singles into center field. You know what? The way he's swinging it back, he might giving up a single to him.
So A-Rod's at first. He can run. So he's 12 for his last 30. That's a 400 batting average over his last 30 bats. And here's Posada hitting .345.
Posada's got a neat 5-game hitting streak going. He was around when the Yankees came here in 2002. 5 for 13 in that series. I think everybody had a good series. The Yankees scored 41 runs in 3 games.
That one's driven deep to center field, going back to Tavares. Still back. He turned the wrong way, and it's over his head and rolls to the wall. A-Rod chugging around third. He will stop right there, and Posada has a double.
Well, they say the hardest ball for an outfielder is the line drive right directly at him. And Willie Tavares, well, he made his move too soon. He turned his shoulder to the left, but the ball was actually going to drift back over his right shoulder. Jorge hits a pitch out over the plate and hits it hard. I said he's having a good year. It seems like it's going to continue here at Coors Field. A-Rod wasn't sure if Tavares is going to catch this ball or not, and certainly with nobody out, you don't want to take any chances and send him home. Tavares turns to his left, scrambles to his right, ball's up against the wall. The Yankees have runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the top of the second inning.
Rockies play the infield back, of course. They'll give up a run with a ground ball. Hideki Matsui is at the plate. Pitch outside. You know, one other note about the last time the Yankees were in here, which is an amazing note, especially with the turnover of teams. The 3 games that the Yankees played against the Rockies, the same 3 starters in that order pitched for the Yankees: Messina, Pettit, and Clemens. Pretty amazing.
And almost to the date.
Yep. Right off the end of the bat, squib foul.
By the way, that was Posada's team-leading 23rd double of the year. He's got 3 more than Robinson Cano.
Well, the Yankees stuck him at first base today, taking a chance with the defense so that they could keep his bat in the lineup, and it paid off immediately as he doubled over the head of Tavares. The 1-1. Now, you might not have known this, but the Yankees have a new player today, Andy Phillips, and they designated Josh Phelps for assignment. And here's the slow-mo version of Posada's swing.
It's going to speed up about right here.
Check swing, did he go? No, said Tepinor. So Andy Phillips, who was with the Yankees last year and has been playing at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, hitting .301. He's a better defender than Phelps, and that's probably one of the reasons why they made the move. There's Andy. And he is thrilled to be back. Ground ball is short. One run will score, and moving to third is Posada. A perfect ground ball that allowed Posada to go to third. An RBI for Matsui, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Matsui's been on the RBI train of late. That's his 42nd of the year. And not only did he drive in one run, he moved Posada over to third base as Tulowitzki threw out Matsui. So Hideki will pick up his 42nd run batted in of the year.
And he gets congratulations from his teammates. Now they bring the infield in with the runner at third. Posada is not fleet of foot, and Cano will take the pitch for a strike.
This is the first ever appearance, as you might expect, for Robinson Cano. His major league career doesn't span back to the last time the Yankees were here, and he's got a little 3-game hitting streak going. I'd like to continue that right here.
Ground ball is short. Posada has to stay anchored. They take the out at first, and there's 2 away. Hey, tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by Lexus, your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealer.
One thing you might notice about the rookie shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki, is that he wears the number 2 on his back. And the reason why he wears it, because his favorite player growing up, you guessed it, Derek Jeter. And he said he was looking forward to meeting Derek during one of these 3 games here at Coors Field.
Now that has to really annoy Jeter. Because there's actually a guy in the major leagues now who idolized Jeter growing up. And Derek's 33 years old, so he's going to get a lot of that.
Yeah, Tulowitzki was All-American at Long Beach State. He's probably worn number 2 his whole life.
But he didn't wear it last year, and he actually, because of Jeter, he went to the third base coach, Mike Gallego, who was wearing number 2, and said, please can I have that number? And Gallego, a former Yankee, said, why? He said, because I idolized Jeter. So Gallego gave it to Tulowitzki. And it's perfect to Tulowitzki.
Yeah, he's having a very good rookie season. You know, no Rocky infield, second baseman, shortstop, or third baseman has made an error in the last 27 games. They have been solid.
Grounded foul, and the count 2-2.
And yeah, you were talking about Kaz Matsui and you know, the problems he went through in New York. He hasn't made an error all year for the Rockies. He's been solid defensively. And the Rockies, they've made 25 errors as a team, by far the fewest errors in the major league. So they've got a solid team, helps their pitchers out. But certainly a different team than they've had here over the years.
Nieves just got a piece to stay alive.
When you think of the big offensive numbers they used to put up with Dante Bichette and Larry Walker and Andres Galarraga and Vinny Castilla, it was bombs away.
25 errors is low in the major leagues. Mets are next.
Do you remember Clint Hurdle as a player, Mike?
Swing and a miss. Nieves down on strikes. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Never lived up to that. Yankees take the lead. 1 run on 2 hits and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Yankees on my 9.
The Kia Sedona.
April 9th, 1993, the Rockies opened up their baseball existence with a game at Mile High Stadium where the Broncos used to play. And this was the first of 80,227 that packed that ballpark. Joe Girardi was the starting catcher. Eric Young hit a home run, the first batter for the Rockies, and the Rockies won 11-4.
That's the owner then, Jerry McMorris. Don Baylor was the manager. First batter of the game, Mike Lansing, who was a player from the Rocky Mountain time zone. He's from Wyoming. Hit a home run for the Expos. First batter. And then in the bottom of the first, Eric Young, first batter for the Rockies. He also homered. So the first batter in their history hit a home run. Joe Girardi was their catcher.
You know, I spoke to Joe about playing here yesterday, and he said he loved playing in this city, loved everything about it. He said, but I didn't like playing at that ballpark. He said, as a catcher, you could put down the right signs, and you're going to give up a home run on a pitch that was the right pitch to call. He goes, I think I'd like it better now.
It was very shallow with left field and left center. It was a football stadium. It was just there to get them going while they were building Coors Field.
There's a ground ball off the bat of Hawk over to Cano, and a nice low grab there by Posada. 1 away. Let's take a look at what Joe Girardi looked back with the Rockies. Nice throw by Girardi. Got him.
Well, that's Bonds he threw out. Uh-oh.
And he can hit. Now, the next time that we are scheduled to do a game with broadcaster Joe Girardi is next Tuesday in Baltimore. And I asked him yesterday, Kenny, are we going to see you in Baltimore? He goes, I will definitely be in Baltimore next Tuesday. I said, are we going to see you in the broadcast booth? He goes, I will see you in Baltimore next Tuesday. Tulowitzki flies out to Abreu, so everybody knows he's up for that job, and supposedly he's spoken with Andy McPhail. They're going to talk to Dusty Baker. They're going to talk to Davey Johnson, and they might make an offer either tonight or tomorrow. And I keep hearing from a lot of people that Girardi is the favorite to get that job.
Well, he is their favorite. He's the guy that they want to take over the Baltimore Orioles job. They fired managers Sam Palazzo. Dave Tremblay is the interim manager. He's the bullpen coach. He's managing the minor leagues for about 20 years, and he's taken over the Orioles. They're playing in San Diego tonight, their first game without their former manager Sam Palazzo. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I was talking to Larry Boa about that, and it was obvious that Larry wasn't very happy about Sam getting fired. He said that the Orioles do not need a managerial change. They need a philosophy change.
Well, there have been two managers, and there's Larry, the Yankee third base coach, that have really not gotten a fair shake. Lee Mazzilli, who wasn't allowed to hire any of his own coaches, and then Sam Palazzo really didn't have a great roster at his disposal. Torey Alba hits one past Jeter for a single here in the second. And that's an important batter in National League Baseball for you American League fans, because you want to get Josh Fogg out of the way if you're the Rockies.
Yeah, well, the Yankees didn't do it in the top half of this inning when Will Nieves, the number 8 hitter, made the final out, which means Mike Messina's going to lead off, and it's almost like a free out for the pitcher. In this case, Torrealba gets a base hit. Josh Fogg will come to the plate. He's batting 150 on the year. No home runs, no RBIs. But the fact is that the Rockies get him out of the way. Their leadoff hitter, Willie Tavares, should be leading off next inning if Mike Messina can retire Fogg for the third out.
And there's a breaking ball strike. Bottom of the second at Coors Field. It is 1-0 Yankees. And that one is chopped to A-Rod. He's going to wait for the hop. Gets it. Fogg just jogging. And that'll do it here in the second inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We've played two in the Mile High City. It's 1-0 Yanks. Third inning, the Sim scoreboard shows the Yankees leading 1-0, each team with 2 hits. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starters. They're brought to you by Audi. Andy Pettitte goes for the Yankees. He's 4-4 with a 2.93, and Jeff Francis is going to go for the Rockies. He's 6-5 with a 3.61. Now the coverage begins at 8 p.m. That'll be right on. Yes.
Battle of left-handers tomorrow. And one thing you'll notice about Mike Messina, while he's a right-handed thrower, he's a left-handed hitter. And I think that they have changed some pitchers who like to hit this way as right-handed throwers. They make them hit right-handed because they don't want that pitching arm exposed to the pitcher.
Now, one pitcher of note that they changed was Dwight Gooden. And Dwight Gooden happened to be a great hitter, and the Mets would not let him hit left-handed because that right shoulder was exposed to the pitch.
And elbow. Mike Messina is not an automatic out. He actually swings the bat pretty well. You know, going back to the days of playing wiffle ball with his brother Mark, I'm sure that Mike got his share of hits.
Mike also threw just 8 pitches in the bottom of the second, so he's got to feel good about that. The count 3-1.
He's got a good eye.
Right down the middle, 3-2.
All right, Moose, you got him where you want him. He's got to throw you a strike.
High fly ball, center field. Willie Tavares is there, and there's one away. Mike Messina never got to first base, but most managers don't want the pitchers to leave their legs out there.
Let's see. He must have thought it was gone. He must have thought it was out of the park. He went into his jog right away.
Here's Melky Cabrera. So Joe Torre, with this big outfield 4-15 to center, has decided to stay with Melky in center and just have a very good pinch hitter and Johnny Damon off the bench. There had been some talk maybe early last week, maybe Johnny Damon could play first base, and that's still a possibility, but I think Joe would rather have Posada's bat in the lineup, and Posada will be a catcher tomorrow, so maybe you see Damon there. Probably not, though, especially against the left-hander. He'll probably be sitting again. But Sunday at the stadium, Johnny Damon was working out at first base.
And Johnny's played first base before. Posada not all that often.
And that one is slashed to left field. Holiday had him played perfectly 2-away. All week the Yankees will be without the benefit of a DH. 3 games in Colorado and then 3 games finishing interleague play in San Francisco against the Giants. Here's Derek Jeter. Jeter grounded to third. That was in the first inning.
I think the Giants are going to take advantage of the Yankees being in town. I think they raised their ticket prices for that series, and they certainly raised them here with the Yankees coming into Coors Field.
79% they raised them. Wow. And they doubled parking. Now, you could say, well, that's awful. And it is, you know, it's tough on the fans, but, you know, they practically doubled prices and they doubled their attendance. So it's hard to argue if you're a businessman, if you're the Rockies, well, you want to see the Yankees going to cost you double. A $42 seat behind the plate tonight is $75.
So if you're a fan, there's a bright side to this. The rest of the season's half price.
Half price. Well, 24,578 is what they averaged this season. They're projecting close to 50 for each game. And pregame increase in revenue, 1.495. So they like seeing the Yankees in town. The whole town is kind of buzzing with the Yankees being here. And the 2-2. Driven down the left field line. That is going to be a base hit. It goes up against the wall, and Jeter's going to get a double. A 2-out, 2-base hit for Derek Jeter.
Now Jeter's hitting streak, or his latest hitting streak, is now up to 13 consecutive games. This is going to be double number 18 on the year. That pitch is up and in, and right down Jeter Boulevard as he rips it into the corner. Holiday was in a retrieving mode right from the start. And he corrals it up against the wall. So Derek Jeter with a 2-base hit.
Here's Bobby Abreu. Jeter's on second with 2 outs. And there's a strike. Must be a throw for Tulowitzki. His idol is right in front of him as he leads off second base.
Derek, I got your number.
And a shortstop like Tulowitzki, well, the reason that he can play shortstop is because big guys like Jeter and A-Rod and Cal Ripken have come before him. Tulowitzki's about 6'1", 6'2".
Here comes the pitch from Fogg. You can see the spin on the ball. He's going to take it up and in, and Derek's going to get the barrel of the bat around.
I like that Exmo.
You like that?
Yeah.
It is great stuff. I wish all pitchers were thrown to me like that speed.
The pitch outside.
The big gap for Abreu here is right center field. Tavares in center is playing a few steps towards the left. And if the ball should head out by the bullpen out there in right center, I would tell you that Abreu would get a triple. Abreu's had a lot of experience here at Coors Field. Of course, the Phillies are hit 14 home runs in this park in his career.
1-2 outside, 2-2.
And he's hit over 300 here at Coors Field. That, you know, as well as the Rockies have hit here, and the opponents come in here, they're licking their chops. Chance to fatten up the batting averages. His career at Coors Field, 344, 8 home runs. I get 14 from 8 home runs.
Maybe totally against the Rockies.
Yeah, okay.
And the count 3-2. You don't want to walk Abreu now with Alex Rodriguez on deck, and that's why Abreu's really been able to stay hot. He's seeing pitches because you want to avoid pitching to A-Rod. 3-2.
You see, but what Abreu's done here by running the count to 3-2 and eventually drawing a walk, A-Rod is standing there and he's watching every single pitch, as you should as an on-deck hitter, and you get a real good idea of what's working for the pitcher. Is his breaking ball working? Is his changeup working? You know, what did he throw at a certain count? Now that he's walked Abreu, I mean, A-Rod saw, what, six, 7 pitches.
Well, A-Rod singled in the second and scored the Yankees' only run. Now, if A-Rod could somehow keep this pace going, he is on pace to put together one of the 3 or 4 greatest seasons for a right-handed hitter in the history of baseball. He is on pace to drive in about 170 runs. 177 is the exact number, and 65 home runs. And the thing that really makes that all the more incredible, he had a very flat May and then picked it up in June. 1-1. 1-2. Obviously, we all know about the April that he had. And then people figured, well, when he calmed down in May, that's it. You know, he's not going to get back to that, but he did get back to that. And he's having an almost better June than he had April.
He got a base hit his first time. I'll get that average, if not to 400. They're certainly knocking on the door.
He has 26 ribbies in his last 12 games. But he goes down on strikes on a breaking ball by Fogg. A big pitch by the Rocky right-hander. No runs are hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 1-0 Yankees. Beautiful sunset here in Denver as Taveras bunts foul. Count 0-1.
Yeah, Taveras, excellent bunter. Already this season, he has 20 bunt base hits. 67 hits on the year. 30 of them are infield hits. He is something else.
Sim's scoreboard shows a 1-0 Yankee lead as we head to the bottom of the third.
And you might suspect those 20 bunt hits leads the major leagues. So that's why you got A-Rod in on the grass and Posada in tight at first base as well. That's an amazing total for a right-handed hitter.
Surprised that somewhere down the line they never asked him to switch it with his speed. The 1-1. Another bunt attempt. Messina off the mound fires, and there's 21. Wow. 21 bunt hits.
Now, years ago, Taveras came up in the Cleveland Indians organization, and one of my former teammates was one of his coaches, Al Bunbury, who was a leadoff hitter with speed and was a decent bunter. Al Bunbury was a left-handed hitter, but he worked with Taveras day in and day out on bunting, using his speed. And for a right-handed hitter to be able to do this, look at him deaden the ball. I mean, he just caught it on the end of the bat, rolls it out. A-Rod had no chance. It was up to Messina, and he can't get enough on the throw. Taveras has a great speed. 21 bunt base hits. He would not be in the big leagues if he didn't know how to bunt.
Here's Kaz Matsui. Obviously, Taveras is a threat to run. He's got a big lead held there by Posada. Spoke to George Frazier, former Yankee pitcher, also with the Twins, and He said that everything they heard about Kaz Matsui with the Mets, they kind of rolled their eyes when the Rockies got him. He said, there's George, you'd be shocked at how good a player this guy is. He's flawless in the field, does a great job offensively. He's nothing like the player he was with the Mets. So it was obvious that he was thrust into a situation that he could not handle in New York with the pressure and the media scrutiny and things like that. And he just wilted. Remember, they started him at shortstop, and they moved Jose Reyes to second to make room for Matsui. And look what he did with the Mets, a 256 average in 239 games. And in a short stretch there, 63 games, 332 with the Rockies, but he's done everything they could have possibly wanted. And there's a strike.
Plus right now he's hitting 12 of his last 13 games. And a good 1-2 punch. Tavares has stolen 16 bases, he's been caught 8 times. Matsui's stolen 11, been caught once. And that's the problem for Tavares at first. Now he's got the great speed, you mentioned that, but 16 and 8, that's not a good ratio. He should be getting closer to 80% of the time that he makes it when he steals. So he has a great speed, but maybe doesn't get the good jumps.
And what we're seeing now is what the Rockies are today. They're not the Blake Street Bombers anymore, as we mentioned. They will try to put together an ABC sort of rally. Hit sharply foul. And Matsui's success here and failure in New York, Kenny, it just furthers the thought process that there is such a thing as horses for courses. This guy could not handle New York. But he feels comfortable here in Colorado.
What are you trying to say? The Yankees got the right Matsui?
I think the Mets would say that.
Yeah.
And many people felt that the Mets signed Kaz Matsui because the Yankees had done so well with Hideki Matsui. Runner goes, pitch out. The throw to second is not in time. Stolen base for Willie Tavares.
Stolen base number 17. The Yankees smelled it out. They had to pitch out. And let's see, a decent jump for Tavares, but the pitch out is called. And you could see Cano had to scoop the ball out of the dirt, and that takes just a hair, not all that much time. As you can see, Nieves step into it, but the throw is low, and the second baseman, in this case Cano, really has to concentrate on catching the ball. He can catch it on the fly and just drop the glove down, but he has to catch it, make sure he has it, and then make the tag, and that takes a little bit too much time, and Tavares is in there. The throw out, great base stealer, fast base stealers, everything has to work right.
Now Matsui wants to pull the ball to move Tavares over to third. And that's what he tried to do.
Yeah, but you see where Nieves was set up. And here's the throw. And you see, first of all, to even be successful, Cano has to worry about catching the ball.
Wow, he might have been out.
It looked like the right foot got in there.
I'm not sure. It looked like the glove was on the chest. Very close.
To see it again. Nieves set up outside to try and keep Matsui from pulling the ball. So it's up to Messina to hit the outside corner. There they go again.
Hey, one thing we got to give credit to the Yankee coaches. Let's take one more look at this. There's the catch.
Watch the right foot.
Watch the tag.
No, he didn't touch him yet. That's when he tagged him.
Well, then the foot just hit there.
Oh, it's closer than I thought originally.
Yankees a couple times against the Mets, and that time right there, guessed right with the pitch out. So somebody's doing a good job in that dugout, guessing and sniffing out when a runner is going. 3-2. High fly ball, shallow center. That does not get the job done. Melky Cabrera is there for the first out. They pitched out twice on Jose Reyes. One time they got him. The other time he stole despite the pitch out, and then right there.
I think with the base stealers like Jose Reyes, and even more so with Willie Tavares, who does not get on base as much, when he gets on, he wants to go because he doesn't get out there all that often. You know, Jose Reyes has improved his on-base percentage over the years, so he is not apt to be going every single time.
Here's Holiday. Foul back. And the count 0-1.
Holiday's become a very good hitter in this Rockies organization. We've got a scout. He's got 102 hits. That leads the major leagues. 29 multi-hit games. That leads the National League. And against right-handed pitchers, he's hitting .369. And as I mentioned, over 400 in this ballpark this year.
He's had 5 straight multi-hit games.
Yeah, he's quite a hitter. About 6'3", about 215 pounds, maybe 220.
And how about this number as the Yankees try to pick off Taveras? He's had 14 games of 3 or more hits.
He's a good hitter. Simple as that.
He was a member of the USA team in the World Baseball Classic with Jeter and Damon and Leiter and A-Rod and Clemens. So pretty heady company there. The 0-1. Fastball upstairs, only 87 miles an hour, but it had some hop to it. 0-2.
Target's blown away, and Messina missed the target, but it was Holiday who missed the pitch.
And Holiday down on strikes.
First strikeout of the night for Mike Messina. That time he came closer to the target.
Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by McDonald's. Interleague play all around. Top of the 9th inning, Phillies lead the Indians 6-5. Detroit beating up on Washington 15-1, also top of the 9th. Dodgers 10, Toronto 1, that's a final. And Minnesota behind Johan Santana shuts out the Mets. Boston in a rain delay with Atlanta leads 4-0. White Sox 5, Florida 4, that's in the top of the 6th. Milwaukee 6, San Francisco 2, top of the 8th. And St. Louis leads Kansas City 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch to Helton is a strike. He has 999 hits here at Coors Field with that single in the first inning. And there are only 4 active players with 1,000 or more hits in their home ballpark. Derek Jeter, Frank Thomas at U.S. Cellular Field when he was at the White Sox, Garrett Anderson at Angel Stadium, and Sammy Sosa at Wrigley Field. So one more hit, and he joins that elite field. And that's the list of most hits at Coors Field. Larry Walker won an MVP while he was here. 814 is in second place. A lot of rumors about Helton being moved during the offseason. Rumored to be going to the Red Sox. That fell through. He has a blanket no trade clause.
He also has a hefty contract.
Very hefty. And you wonder, Kenny, you've watched him play. Is he a Coors Field hitter, or could he hit in other places?
Well, last year he had a career low 15 home runs. And that's when they started going to the humidor. So it makes you wonder. But he has put up some gaudy numbers, not only in this ballpark, but around the National League.
2-1. There's a strike, 2-2.
That was a well-spotted fastball from Mike Messina. Nieves could have caught this one blindfolded. Just stick the glove out there, Messina hit it.
Last 5 seasons, you see what Helton has done. His numbers have gone down significantly over the last 2 seasons, especially power-wise and RBI-wise. 2-2. Missed inside, the count 3-2. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday evening from Denver, Colorado. And the Yankees lead the Rockies 1-0, the first of 3 on what will be a 9-game, 3-city road trip. 3-2. Missed, and Helton walks. Knowing Messina, he probably looked at this lineup, Kenny, and said, Todd Helton's not beating me.
Yeah. He was going all or nothing with the corners on those pitches. So if he did hit the corner, it was outside. It's going to be ball four. Move him along, go to Atkins. Although Atkins is an RBI man, his average is not what you would see with Helton or Holiday, that's for sure. His batting average is a lot lower, but he does drive in runs. Which would lead you to believe he can be pitched to a little bit better. You know, he might have some holes in his swing where he's not quite as effective as Helton. Helton can go the opposite way. And if you make a mistake, he can pull the ball for power. Somebody like Holiday in front of him, it just plain hits.
The 0-1. We have to send out happy birthday wishes to our chief engineer, Bruce Kerrigan. Spending a birthday away from home. He's with us all the time. I think he's 79 years old today, which is great. So happy birthday to Bruce. Pitch is outside.
Well, he's a few years older than I was last Sunday.
Somebody said that. I don't know who said that.
Yeah, I heard that. I've got spies, Michael.
Well, in person, happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Nice dinner last night. That was nice of you all to take me out for my birthday. Our fearless leader, Kevin Smoller.
2-1. 3-1. And Messina working himself into a jam. The Rockies stranded 2 in the first and 1 in the second. Now they have 2 on and 2 outs here in the third.
Yeah, what's going on here really, though, is the pitch count's going up. And Messina, when he's really on, he's out of an inning by now. What do you have? He had an 8-pitch inning in the second?
Yep.
Well, that's coming back to haunt him a little bit here in the third.
And this upcoming pitch will be his 50th of the night. 3-1. Finding to center field, it is a base hit. Willie Taveras is coming home. The throw is not in time. RBI single for Atkins, his 11th ribby in 6 games, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, you talk about Atkins being an RBI hitter. His batting average starting tonight was .244, but he has been driving in runs. You can see he gets a pitch in the middle of the plate, about knee high, drives it straight away center. Melky Cabrera is going to try and throw out Willie Taveras, and with 2 outs, Taveras is off with the crack of the bat, so there's no way he's going to get him, even though it's a pretty strong throw by Melky Cabrera. Taveras is going to score, and it's 1-1. Here's our X-Mo, our My9 X-Mo, and you can see this ball drifts back towards the middle. And the head down by Atkins and a base hit.
Pitch to Brad Hawp is outside 1-0. Hawp grounded to second in the second.
There's another hitter who's been swinging. But one reason why the Rockies have been winning, their batting order has come alive of late. Hawp has been swinging the bat well too.
Popped up. Alex Rodriguez not comfortable with pop-up, settling underneath it, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. Every pop-up is an adventure with A-Rod. He'd be the first one to tell you. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Waiting for it to come down. It finally does, and we finally go to the 4th at 1-1. As we go to the 4th inning, a beautiful sky here in Denver, and it gives us an opportunity to tell you about our Dodge trivia question. And the question is easy. Which player hit the first triple in Rockies history?
It's easy because you guessed it right away.
Did I guess it? I'm not allowed to guess.
Not out loud.
Well, not out loud.
No.
You read my mind. Posada leads off here in the 4th. It's a 1-1 game. 1-3-0 Yanks, 1-4-0 for the Rockies. Posada, Matsui, and Cano. Posada doubled his first time up. And there's a high fly ball to left field. Matt Holliday backs up. And there's one way. We always talk, Kenny, about the mile high and how this level, this elevation affects the baseball. But do you think it affects the breathing and the way guys might get tired? I know you played golf today. Did you feel a bit more tired walking the course?
Walking up and down those hills, yeah, you start to breathe a little harder. I think football teams come here a day earlier, the visiting teams, to try and get acclimated to the altitude. And the purple, you see those purple seats as the row that rings the stadium in the upper deck, the 20th row, and that represents an even mile above sea level.
5,280 feet. That one's driven to center field. Willie Taveras is there. Two-way, but you did not let that mile-high air affect you. You shot a 75, which was better than U.S. Open champion Angel Cabrera.
It was a different course there.
It wasn't Oakmont?
No, it wasn't. But I'll tell you one thing, the ball really flies here. Man, it goes.
But because Kenny is such a sportsman, before he went out, he kept all of the golf balls in a humidor, which is great. I mean, not many people would do that.
Yeah. Not even me, Michael.
There's Cano, and the pitch is outside, 1-0. They fly out of this place in 95, 241. And in 99, an ML record of 303 home runs. And then last year, 168. It's all in the humidity. That's amazing.
Well, what the humidor does, I think we talked about it briefly early in the game, and for those of you who might have missed it, it makes the ball heavier, and it's harder to go out. The balls, when they didn't do it, they were lighter and they really flew.
Deep drive, left center. Willie Taveras is there, and 3 fly balls. Josh Fogg works a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-1 game right here on My 9. Well, it's time for the Dodge Trivia Answer. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Which player hit the first triple in Rockies history? And the answer is Joseph Girardi. Did it on April 10th against Montreal. The first year of the Rockies' existence, 1993.
I did that game.
Here's Tulowitzki. Now, do you see the method to the madness of everybody working on the staff? We're emptying the Joe Girardi bucket in case he's, taking the manager's job, where we can't use these questions later on. He is up. If you just joined us, he's obviously up for that Orioles job. We'll see if he's offered it and if he takes it. And we all love Joe, and we certainly hope whatever he wants to do, it turns out. This is our last Joe Girardi information that we can give you. Played 3 seasons here. And 274 average, 15 homers, 120 runs batted in. And he had a career high 8 home runs in one of those seasons. And speaking of that triple, that was one of the great Yankee moments in '96. He had a triple off Greg Maddux in the 7th inning of Game 6. And it was at that point you realized the Yankees were going to win the World Series for the first time since 1978. One of the bigger hits in Yankee postseason history. So again, I know it's probably stressful times for Joe and Kim Girardi, but whatever happens, everybody here wishes him the best of luck. The 1-2.
Look out.
And Tulowitzki gets plunked.
And certainly Mike Messina not wanting to hit the leadoff hitter in Tulowitzki, and you can see there's nowhere for him to go. He takes it off near the elbow, and also actually got a piece in the Avis as well. So leadoff man is on. I think one more thing we should explain about the humidor. It's not that the humidor makes the ball heavier. Actually, what it does, it normalizes the ball. When it's so hot and there's not much humidity around here, what it does, it dries out the balls, and that's one reason why the balls would fly so far. So the humidor actually adds a little weight to the ball and normalizes it, makes it feel more or react more like a baseball would, say in New York or Chicago or wherever else, not a mile high as it does here in the past. So.
And it also doesn't weigh on the pitcher throwing a heavier ball.
Yeah.
It's pretty much normal at this altitude. Here's Torey Alba. And nice breaking ball for a strike.
I was talking to Bill Guyvet, who is assistant general manager here, to Dan O'Dowd, who is the GM, and he was saying that in Atlanta and Florida, they're looking for a way to extract weight from the ball because the balls are getting heavier because of the humidity in those cities. So they want to normalize the baseball, make it the uniform just about everywhere. Then leave it up to pitchers to make the changes on the ball. And believe me, some of them do.
Let's see if the Yankees can turn two. There's one, and there's two. That's a big double play with the pitcher coming up. Messina got just what he needed, a 6-4-3 DP.
And this was nicely turned. Ball was hit fairly hard, made it even easier to turn, but Jeter went to a couple of steps to his right, gave Cano a perfect feed. And watch Robinson Cano just turn this over. If there's one coach smiling in the Yankee dugout now, it's Larry Bowa. Larry Bowa turned many a double play in his day from shortstop with the Philadelphia Phillies and later on for the Cubs. Well, that barely was in Cano's glove, wasn't it? Just boom, boom, on its way to first base.
And Cano uses second base as a speed bump so expertly. He'll just step back, and if you're going to slide, you have to slide over the bag to get to him.
Well, that was very slickly turned.
The 0-1 to Fogg. 0-2. Messina is not feeding Fogg fastballs. He keeps throwing them breaking ball after breaking ball.
Fogg's smiling up there. Well, he knows he can hit. He had a 150 average coming in here, so he had to hit somewhere along the line. Tried to expand the strike zone on him, too. You know, one thing you do notice here, there is a distinct lack of humidity. As warm as it was today, it's supposed to be like 96 tomorrow. It probably won't feel like 96 would in New York on the East Coast.
Swing and a miss, and Fogg down on strikes. So Messina faces the minimum 3 batters thanks to the double play off the bat of Torrealba. It doesn't get any more beautiful than that. As we go to the 5th inning, it's a 1-1 game. Hey, this Friday, tune to the Yes Network, and the Yankees head into San Francisco looking to hold off Barry Bonds and the Giants. First at 9, it's batting practice today, presented by Lincoln Mercury, followed by the pregame, then catch all the play-by-play action at 10. It's the Yankees and the Giants Friday night, starting at 9, only on Yes. And Sunday, the coverage will begin at 3. Bonds is now 7 away from tying Aaron, 8 away from breaking the record. So unless he gets off on a hot streak, I don't think he's going to break that record against the Yankees. Will Nieves runs the hands up the bunt, takes a pitch inside, 1-0.
Not a bad idea. It looked like third baseman Atkins was back, and now he's moved up a few steps. You know, if he gets on with a bunt, you figure Messina's going to bunt, move him over into scoring position. Maybe a leadoff hitter, Melky Cabrera, could drive him in. There's Atkins moved in. We got a shot of Lou Kakuza Jr. He's the visiting clubhouse man of the Yankees team. He's given his brother Robbie a break on this trip. He's taken over the first part of this trip. So Lou is the equipment manager on this trip for the Yankees. He wanted me to pass along congratulations to his son Anthony Kakuza in the Annunciation School and winning the 8th grade CYO baseball championship. So Lou Jr., who is the son of the great Lou Sr. As Matsui makes the catch around number 1. And Lou Sr.'s grandson Anthony, part of a championship team.
Congratulations to Anthony on the Honda scoreboard. Top of the 5th inning, it's 1-1. Here's Mike Messina. He flew out to center in the 3rd.
And while, you know, some people might say, it's an 8th grade team, it's something these kids will have for the rest of their lives. And, you know, if you run into somebody 30 years from now and you see him, don't you remember back in 8th grade, we played on the championship team, we beat so-and-so, you know, 52-3 or whatever it was. It's a good feeling. I'm sure that Anthony's watching, and his Uncle Robbie, and grandfather Lou Sr., the great Lou Sr.
Popped up, shallow left. Tulowitzki make the play. 2 down. You know, I have that same feeling about my 6th grade math.
Really?
Math.
You were on the math team?
Yeah, no, it was a big competition. A lot of sweating, a lot of pocket protectors, but you know, we came out of it on top.
Hey, go, Mikey. You ever run into any of those kids?
Excuse me?
You ever run into any of those kids?
Yeah, at the bank.
You're there often, aren't you?
Here's Melky Cabrera. And the pitch is a strike.
All moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, took their slide rules and moved on. The 0-1. Foul back.
Meanwhile, Josh Fogg has done a pretty good job of mixing up his breaking stuff with his change speed on his breaking ball. Has allowed 2 runs or less in 3 of his last 4 starts, and he's only got 1 win out of it. Pitch for the Pirates for a while. Tried to do backdoor slider to the outside corner and missed.
And that's a base hit to right center. He dunks it right in there. Brad Hoff's going to cut it off in the gap. Cabrera's going for 2, and the throw is cut off. And that's what Kenny was talking about earlier. You have to play so deep that even a ball that's hitting the gap that you cut off and keep it from going to the wall, it's still a double.
And Cabrera does not hesitate. Once he got to first, he realizes with 2 outs, you want to get in a scoring position. And Hoff, being a left-handed thrower, has to spin due to 360 to try and get the ball back in. Good hustle by Melky right out of the box. He's thinking 2. And he's going to make it standing up. That's Melky's 6th double of the year.
Here's Derek Jeter. He doubled in the 3rd inning. Game is tied at 1. We're in the top of the 5th. And there's the strike.
The Yankees have 4 hits. 3 of them have been doubles.
A lot of flash bulbs going off here at Coors Field as Jeter steps in, recording every move. Like a World Series game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, look at that. I think some of these fans are thinking maybe the Yankees won't be back here for another 5 years.
It's like Christmas at Rockefeller Center every time he takes a pitch. Take a look at that. One-two count on Jeter.
With 2 strikes, Derek is more apt to hit the ball towards the right side. But the Rockies certainly have their defense overloaded that way. You can see Tavares more than a few steps towards right center. The big gap is in left center field and down the left field line. That's where Derek hit his double his first time. So Matt Holliday's got a lot of room to cover.
Now Jeter's used to this, but Kenny, I would think that has to be pretty distracting because they're snapping pictures and those flashbulbs are going off as he's standing in the box before the bat, before the ball's even being delivered.
Yeah, but your concentration level, Michael, is
really?
so high. You are just focused on it. It's dangerous if it's not. You got to be focused in on the release point of the pitcher, and all these flashbulbs are just, you know, you could ask him after the game to tell you didn't see any. Oh, that hurts.
He's seeing stars right now.
Oh yeah. Oof. Pitches in, looked like a fastball running in, and just off the looked like the arch of the left foot. Yeah, he's smiling about it.
The speedy Cabrera is at second. There are 2 outs, a 1-1 game, top of the 5th. And the 3-2 to Jeter. Ground ball to second. Kaz Matsui is there. Over to Helton, and that'll do it. So Cabrera stranded at 7. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. At the end of 4.5, we are halfway through here at Coors Field. It's the Yankees 1 and the Rockies 1. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9.